Everything's looking nice and steady, looking nice and good. And we should have some people coming in as well. It's Friday. We're back again for the weekly vol. How are you how's it going, people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be chatting about all things related to markets again this week. Yeah, some things to talk about for sure. Let's um, let's share it in the Discord and get some people coming in. Bear with me, guys. Come and join. Okay.
Yeah,
Got some people in already. Timmy's in already. How's it going, champ? How are you? And Mo as well. How's it going on your side? How are things?
all good on my end.
Good, 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 good. And I guess we can like not waste any time and just go straight into it, really. Yeah, here we are. Bitcoin is practically, I think Friday. Yeah, we're same price as what we were a week
Yeah,
ago,
same
like
price.
identical. Um, there's been a little bit of volatility in Bitcoin. We had that Monday, like pretty 5%, from top of wick to bottom of the wick. Alts have had a little bit of a different time, and maybe we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, I guess my personal like feeling on Bitcoin is we're kind of range bound, and I've basically just put in this like a range from 100k. Which is basically this area on the bottom of the range here, and you can quite clearly see that with this bottom line. And then I've put in this thinner line on the top of the range, which is around 105k, or 106 almost actually, which is what we hit on Monday almost. And I feel like we're just kind of in the middle of this right now. I don't know if we're going to compress on the lower time frame, and eventually break out or what. I'm not quite sure. How are you reading this at the moment, Mo?
I think there's a bit of exhaustion on Bitcoin, Bitcoin and other alts in general. Like we've seen a very decent rally, and
Yeah.
it's obvious that like it's bullish now. Like when it was around between 70 and 80, even 85, like it was a bit tricky. Like I was bearish then. I'm not gonna lie. I was rooting for newer lows. But like, yeah, we can't deny the strength we've seen over the last month or so on Bitcoin, bouncing from like 75 to 105. So I'd say there's no new low for now. However, like maybe we can go to like 90s before bouncing back, or like we can go higher than lower. But yeah, I think we have to visit somewhere around like the 90s, maybe mid 90s or high 90s.
So you do think that we will break below 100k again?
Eventually, yeah, like sooner or later.
But are we going to hit all-time highs first, or we're going to break below 100k first?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, have you seen the strength? Like, from the bottom, like it goes up, ranges a bit, goes higher, ranges a bit, goes higher, and now it's ranging, so it might go higher.
I guess like around the 22nd of April we were at 93k, and we were there for basically until the 6th of May. So we're talking about 17 days, like in this range right here. 17 days here, basically chopping a little bit. Um,
17?
yeah.
Oof.
So that was 17 days from the 22nd of April, 10 days or 16 days, call it, plus or minus a day, right? 16 days. Okay. Um, we've been in this range from the 8th of May to the 16th of May. So 8 days so far. You know, is it just a case of something a bit similar where we just kind of range a little
Could
bit,
be,
but
could be,
eventually chop up? Could it be something similar? I
yeah,
don't know.
or maybe like
Uh,
maybe a, f- a fake out to the downside a bit before going up.
Fake out to the downside.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean that could also be plausible, right? Something like this, you mean?
yeah. There's a term for it, but I don't want to say it. I think
um,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, is this going to happen? I don't know. Would this scare a lot of people? Potentially, it would. I think this would actually scare a lot of people.
I don't
But I
think
think
so because like people have been in by the dip mode for the last couple of times, and the bears have been like most of the bears have been shaken out, and some of them have even changed their bias. Like after seeing such strength, I wouldn't be surprised if someone changes their bias. Even I did.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
I'd be a buyer in that range probably.
yeah, yeah. No, no, fair, fair, fair. I think for something like Bitcoin, sure. I think that makes sense. I mean, um, yeah, no, no. I think that makes sense. If you wanted to like accumulate to your spot bags, and yeah, I think this would be maybe an interesting point here. Yeah, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, one question I have for you is like, okay, so if we just zoom out a little bit, really, really zoom out, okay, um, and look back to where we were like in 2022. Okay. In November 2022, Bitcoin was at 15K. And basically, for the last 2 years, right, Bitcoin has just been on a complete uptrend. Like, I'm talking about macro. Yeah, sure. There was like this 6 month period where things didn't go well. There was also this 6 month period where things didn't go well. But in general, like the trend has been upwards. Um, at what point do you think we enter like like a year, a 12 month like down period, like we saw at the end of this last cycle? You know, if you believe in the 4 year cycles, then the 2025 is your equivalent to 2021, and so at the end of this year, are we potentially going to see something like we saw in previous cycles? I know this cycle is different,
Yes,
but will we
potentially.
eventually see a 12-month like time where Bitcoin just ranges or just goes down to like 60, 50, 40 even, and that's the new bottom for Bitcoin? Could that be a
I'd
thing?
say we can see like between 40 and 50k Bitcoin.
Yeah, like we will get a time again at some point in the future where it goes in that price range, right?
Of course.
And so my question is like, when do you think that's going to happen? Because we're in May of 2025 now. If we're looking at 4 year cycles, and I know some people don't believe in 4 year cycles, and I know there's all this chat that this time's different, but that's the equivalent of being in May in 21, and we know exactly what happened in May 21. That was this point right here. Sure, we could carry on until maybe November, October, November, so another 3 months or so. Um, but like, is this like, is this kind of, are we really, really do we really need to think about, it's something that no one's thinking about, right? Do we actually need to think about like when the end of this cycle will be?
Probably Q3, Q4, somewhere
What makes
around
you
that.
think that?
Just because of like, yeah, 4 year cycles and the potential of a recession happening for like in the US. So that would definitely affect the stocks like the S&P 500, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, and yeah, I think that would suck up a lot of liquidity. There would be less buyers for
Yeah,
crypto in general. However, that like there might be an exception where BTC like doesn't have the usual like 4 year cycle, like 2 years bear market, 2 years bull market. I'd say BTC's like it's more adapted now, and like we would see like continuous buying from either Sailor or other institutions, and BTC would have like would start trading like uh, US equities, like going down 20-30% would be the max for start for it.
maybe. Yeah, I mean, we're still getting like 30% pullbacks, but yeah, we haven't seen like a huge um I mean, what was the pullback back then? Yeah, 33% is the maximum pullbacks we've been having over since 2022. Like, when are we going to see a 50% correction on Bitcoin? Like,
Probably like if it were to happen, it would happen like maybe 2026 in the case of a recession happening.
yeah, fair, fair, fair. Yeah, I'm interested to know like kind of what's everyone's like exit plans, because like, I mean, just personally, like I've always been selling, and like when I sell, like I just don't buy back. Um, and yeah, it's just getting to a point now where I'm like thinking, at what point do I want to be like 90% stabled up? You know, is it going to be in like 4 months time, like when we get to October, or do I actually want to like actually start thinking about like when do I think this cycle will finish? If I even believe in cycles as well, that's a separate thing altogether. I know that every cycle is completely different, and yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like what's the play on the cards here really. So yeah, just I know we deviated a bit from like Bitcoin price action specifically, but yeah, we just wanted to hear what you thought about Bitcoin and like the cycle theory as well.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
I
mean,
think altcoins will keep on suffering relative to Bitcoin.
yeah, I mean, like something like Sol, I think has obviously done amazing this cycle, right? You know, gone from $8 to what, like 290 at the top, still at 170 right now. And like the on the low time frame, like I say low time frame, daily on the daily chart, like this still looks good. Like this still is like putting in like higher lows, higher highs. Like this is still uptrending, right? The trend is not
Yeah,
broken here at all whatsoever. I mean, it's gotta really drop below like this 146. If it falls below 146, you know, at that point, you know, it's over, I think. But as long as it's higher than that, you know, this even if it drops all the way down to 158 or something like that, it's still looking good. But at some point, and I don't know if this is going to be in 3 months' time, which would match basically the top of last cycle in October, November, or 4 months' time, sorry, or like you know, is this time different? You know, is the bull run gonna last for a little while longer? I'm not too sure. It's a question that I've just been thinking about recently.
yeah, it's a bit tricky.
I mean, do you think Sol goes back to all-time highs again?
Mm,
When I
potentially,
just
if Bitcoin, yeah, I think it would. I think it would. If Bitcoin
you
like
think it
keeps
will?
grinding to like 120, 130K, yeah, I'd say Solana can go back above $200 and hopefully $300 maybe.
Interesting. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't necessarily think that it's over for Sol right now. I do think it can push higher, but like to yeah,
I'd say
I
lower
guess.
than higher. Like maybe I'll buy again maybe around 150.
Yeah, but then like, what's your strategy with that buy? Is it like to just hold it for a long time, or like when's your plan to
I'll
exit?
probably sell it at 300.
Okay, okay. So yeah, it's just level to level trade,
I
right?
would cut the loss at like 140.
Okay, fine. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, interesting. And you know, whilst I think Bitcoin might be in a league of its own, I don't necessarily think Sol will survive. And so again, my question to you is, right, Sol's been on this mad run from $7 on the bottom. What's the floor for Sol now? Like where
Like
is the floor for it?
in the bear market.
Yeah.
Um,
So like $30,
I'd say it would be around like
40?
somewhere between yeah, maybe like 40 to
Okay,
$50.
50. Maybe it's like this point right here, which has been has been
Yeah, like 40, 50, give or take.
yeah, yeah. That would be scary for a lot of people if something like that were to happen. Even from here, that's like a 70% decline, which seems pretty reasonable actually for bear markets, no? From all-time high, that would be yeah, 83%. It's not it's pretty in line actually, especially with last cycle. So yeah, let's see. I'm intrigued to know like at what point do the people actually start considering like fully taking profits and like not entering the market back again. I don't think that it's consensus that for people to even think like that right now. Everyone is thinking about all-time highs and Bitcoin breakouts, and you know the bull market is still in full effect. Whereas I think sometimes it's just good to just think about the big picture and like when are you actually going to sell?
Yeah, because nothing is real until it's realized.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, do you think there's going to be like I mean, no one can ever predict this, but like a Black Swan event, we haven't had one in a long time. I do think like there's still a lot of like crazy stuff happening in crypto, and I do think like something can break and kind of take everything down with it, you know?
Yeah, agree.
So yeah, let's see. Let's see. Either way, I think Sol actually looks very bullish on a higher time frame, like on a daily chart. It looks really strong still. Um, ETH similarly, yeah. Look, I mean, I can't really complain with this. That is one of the craziest green candles that we've seen. And I guess ETH obviously has changed a fair bit or a little bit anyway from Friday. We actually pushed up on ETH a lot, and ETH BTC has been performing pretty well. We're about 10% higher than where we were last week, whereas Bitcoin is the same price. But again, we're in this range. We are in this long, big range right now between 2,800 and 1,700 on the bottom, and things have always moved really fast in this range. You can see here, things moved up really fast, things moved down fast, back up again, down really fast, up fairly fast, down fast, and up fast again. Like there's not really that much historical price action in this area. So yeah, I do think like the likelihood is that we will either kind of stop out here, or I do think actually that we will give 2,800 a retest. Maybe we break that, maybe we
Probably,
don't, and if we don't,
probably.
we will go back in there.
Yeah,
What's your plan with ETH? Trading it at all?
not much. We'll wait for a dip to like long it to $300. I think it can hit like, wait, not 300, 3K.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3K, definitely not 300.
I think we can see like 2.9 to 3K. So yeah, if we got the chance to bid around like 2.1, 2.2, I'd be a buyer there.
Yeah, 2.1 certainly makes sense. You can see that is basically this point right here. So yeah, maybe if you did get a chance to buy there, but will that happen? That's a 20% fall from here now, 18% fall.
Yeah, it's doable. It's doable. Like wouldn't
Yeah,
I wouldn't rule it out.
yeah, fine, fair enough. I mean, and look at ETH BTC as well. I put this question here. I think last week, like, was this the bottom? Um, we've been looking at this for a long time. I'm not convinced yet that this is the bottom. I still do think that it could actually go lower, especially if Bitcoin starts performing well again. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what where this goes. I mean, if you have to pick one asset out of the three, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, to bet on for the next 3 months, what would you pick?
The one that's probably gonna get the most ROI,
Yeah, 3 months from now,
percentage-wise, Solana.
you would bet on Sol.
Yeah,
Would you be confident enough? Let's say if you had $10,000, would you be confident enough to full port Sol if your goal was to basically have the biggest performance out of those three?
yeah, definitely.
Or would you do like 50-50 Bitcoin Sol?
No, I'll keep it at all.
Ah, interesting.
But if it comes to me, I'd go maybe Sui.
Sui, why is that?
Man, it's shown like the, the most strength since the bottom.
It has, but is that going to continue?
Wait, what's this? Ah, yeah. I'd say it can like go back to maybe $6, new all-time high.
$6? Holy, that's mad.
That's
No
50%
way.
away.
Oh yeah, I guess it's $6
Like
is hold
now,
on, that's much.
we know we're saying like, yeah, how is Sui worth 50, 60 billion? It's not, but like the market doesn't care what it's worth.
Yeah, but like, who's bidding? Who's bidding this to $6? I feel
The
like
same
every
guy that
single
was bidding at 40 billion and 50 billion.
where's this money coming from? Like, and how do they still have money to bid? Is my question. You know?
I have no idea. but like yeah, they keep coming.
They do. They do. This
Yeah,
was
but
interesting to
and
see.
the Sui market maker definitely needs a raise, man. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, this has been a crazy one actually, if you think about it. I mean, in the bear market, I do think that this will go all the way back down to the lows. I'm pretty confident on that one. Like, I'm
Last
pretty
year
sure.
it went from like how much? 30 cents in August.
Yeah.
In August,
Uh,
August.
you're talking about August? Yeah, August 24. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was 45 cents.
45 cents to 50 billion, man. In the
Yeah,
span
that's a
of like how
huge
much is
one.
that? Like 4 months, 5 months?
It was yeah, call it about
5 months.
5 months. Yeah, 5 months. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like 10x in 5 months on a big cap. It was like 5 billion to 50 billion.
I mean, is
Now
this
I
the
don't
bull
even
run?
buy anything over 5 billion.
Is this the bull run? And like, maybe this is like your M pattern beginning to form. You know, is
Could be.
this? I mean, if that's the case, I would in general, if you're looking for a spot bag, maybe you can ride it up another 20-30%, but you're not going to get X's from here. And really, you should be thinking about your exit plan, because ultimately, I don't see how Sui doesn't end up going to somewhere back down around here. I don't see how it doesn't do that. Sui back to $1. I'm like, it seems pretty reasonable. $1 is still 10 bill, by the way. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Interesting. 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 I personally would not pick Sui over Bitcoin. If I had to pick out of all four of those assets, I personally would pick a mixture of Bitcoin and Sol.
Mm.
I just cannot just not hold Bitcoin anymore. Like, it's just its own beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a hedge. It's a hedge against anything.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, in general, I'm just thinking like a little bit more longer term now, and I'm just thinking like, what is, what is the
Pull up the
marginal?
Bera chart.
Say again?
Pull up the Bera chart.
Yeah, this is not a good looking chart whatsoever. Yeah, fill the wick. That's not happening. Yeah, we're basically range bound again. I showed this pattern so many times on the weekly vol, where you get a deviation at the range lows and you end up going all the way to the range highs again. Like, I've shown this pattern so many times. Like, one of the most easiest trade setups that you can do, where you see a deviation and going back into the range, you always end up seeing like another retest of the opposite side of the range. It happens all the time. So yeah, let's see what happens at $3.30. It looks like we're bound to go to that point anyway. $3.30. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll hit it at some point in the next week or so. Yeah, let's see what the reaction is going to be at that point. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on Bera, like the asset? How are you going to trade it or anything like that?
I don't know. I was a bit bullish when it was around like $4. It had some strength to it, but yeah, it's been very weak for the last 4 or 5 days.
It's been
So
very
I'd
weak since.
probably say we might be able to get like maybe $3 again or under,
Yeah, it really does look like that, doesn't it? I mean,
especially if Bitcoin decided to dump.
the thing is, right, Bearer, even if the price pumps, even if Bitcoin pumps, which it has been doing over this entire period, Bitcoin has been performing really well. There's no positive action on Bearer right now. So
Yeah,
yeah, this is a tricky one at the moment. I would like to see this change, obviously, and I would like obviously to get back above this range that we've been
but
stuck
I
in
like it
for.
because like it made a higher high.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
If
I'd be happy
you're
to see it bounce at 3.3 maybe. I don't know.
talking about something like this, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well, maybe we can do that. Maybe we can. I don't know. I'll be following. I think 3.3 is like the critical point to be wary of. Like you really need
Yeah,
to reach
333.
that one. So yeah, let's see it. Yeah, I think it'll be good to maybe trade some options on it at that point as well. We're at what, $3.46 right now. Yeah, maybe what I may do is buy puts every single day until we like hit that point, and then or maybe I'll just wait until we hit that point, and when we do hit 3.3, maybe I'll buy some calls on that day because the risk reward there might be good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, man, it's crazy that it's crazy how bad things have been for Bearer, right? Very, very crazy. Just to like highlight this on the IVX chart, this is kind of what I'm looking at. So let it come to this point, and at this exact point here, hold on. At this exact point is basically when I would buy calls. Yeah, I'd buy out the money call at that point, and see what happens. I think that there's good risk, there's good ROI or risk
Yeah,
reward, I should
that's
say.
how much is that leverage? 100x.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll be different because when the price goes there, we all have different strikes at that point. But I think that would be an interesting trade setup. Again, to the audience who are listening right now, my personal trading or trading style anyway is to do activity at the range lows or the range highs. And like when you see bearer price action like this, we're getting close to the range lows. That's where I like to do my trading activity. When we're in the middle, but I don't know where things are going to go. They could go up, they could go down. It's hard to say. But at the range lows, like that's your chance to take a bet on a change in direction. And you could be wrong, and that's why using options is really interesting. Or having a stop loss with your pup is a really important thing. But yeah, generally when we get to those levels, that's kind of where I like to do my trading anyway. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Yeah. Any other charts that we should look at? I was thinking of just whizzing through like a bunch of charts together with you, and maybe we can just find
Maybe
something that looks
hype
interesting.
and Fortcoin.
Yeah, because hype is just on a different level, and hype just keeps going up and up and up and up. Yeah, I think I said this in the last week's episode that we will probably get to the range highs. At the range highs, again, that's where I like to do business. I will see if we reject off it, and if we reject off it, it might be a good short-term short. Hype's a bit of a difficult one because I think it's still quite bullish overall. I did a tweet today.
No point shorting hype because of the continuous buybacks.
Yeah, it's a tough one to short. It is a tough one to short. They're making $40-50 million a month, like $500-600 million annualized. All of that buy pressure into this chart. You're getting a continuous TWAP of around $2 million every single day. The current float is only a 9 bill FTV, or 9 bill market cap. I mean, so at 9 bill and you're making 600 million in revenue annualized. We're talking about pretty crazy PE ratio, and so can this? I saw Mike Novogratz today on CNBC shilling Hyperliquid as well. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw it. I just saw it like 15 minutes ago on Twitter.
Yeah, Mike Novogratz shilling Hyperliquid. I don't think it's one to short either, to be fair. But again, it is going to the range highs. That is usually where you see some stuff happening. We saw it historically here: rejection, and then followed by going all the way down, much lower. Hyperliquid dropped quite significantly, actually. Hyperliquid dropped what, like 67% in like 2 months. Really brutal price action. Recovered massively since then. So let's see what happens this time. Will we will we reject again, or is this time different? Is this time are we gonna go much higher?
It's
And I
going
think,
to $50.
yeah, some people say even higher. Some people's targets are, like 100. So yeah, let's see.
It can.
Yeah. Let's see where this one goes. Yeah, Hype's a good coin anyway. Any other coins that are interesting? I was going to pull up Kaito because of a lot of bullish price action recently. Yeah, getting close to the highs actually overall. Let me go on a 4-hour chart. Can have a look at it a little bit clearer. Yeah, I mean, crazy price action here. Very, very strong. Good to anyone who longed it.
Yeah.
This is IP, and it's somehow surviving. It is somehow surviving. Yeah, I wrote, short if it goes below this line, but we've only had deviations really, and we've only had deviations. We haven't had any sort of like continuous close like under. So yeah, this has been an interesting one. I think eventually there will come a point in time where this does drop below, yeah, and at that point I do think it can go all the way to the range low. But yeah, let's wait and see when that happens. Any comments on story?
They're all going to zero, man. They're all going to zero.
At what point do you
Eventually.
short?
Maybe $6-7 is a good short.
So basically, call it something like this, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe when we hit that point is when you want to short instead. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, short it to $4.
Yeah. I do think eventually there will come a point in time where this is trading at $2. And so, yeah, maybe if you have infinite amounts of collateral and you can, I mean, the question is, how hard can this scam pump from here? Can this go to 10 billion FDV, or is that just not possible?
Definitely.
It can. If that's possible, then yeah, it's a really hard one to time it, because I think it's pretty consensus that probably we all think that it will go down. But yeah, let's see when.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Give me some more tickers.
Fartcoin.
Fartcoin. Okay. Let's pull up Fartcoin. Interesting one as well. Looks
This
like
price action is very good, man.
Yeah, it's so strong. So strong. Is it up even more since last Friday? Yeah, it is. Up even more since last Friday. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Nothing else for me to say other than this is crazy. Crazy strong. Crazy strong is what I mean. Yeah. How are you trading this?
I'm looking for longs around 1.1, 1.15.
Let's have a look at. Why 1.1? Like it just I don't see any previous. Okay, maybe fine, something like this. Okay. I'm interested to see like what happens here. Does it go to range high or not? I think it probably will.
It's going to all-time highs. It's going to all-time highs.
If I had to bet, it will end up getting here. I don't know about all-time high. All-time high is high. Here is all-time high. That's quite high. Another 120% move to go. But Hey, if anything can do it, Filecoin can do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can look at some of the new coins as well. Launchcoin, for example, which has been pretty nuts, very very nuts. Oh gosh, this has gone down a lot. No way, I didn't even realize. Maybe this isn't the best chart. Let me open up Dex Screener to kind of highlight it. Give me a second. Wow, Launchcoin is down so bad. I did not realize that it was down this much.
Yeah, I think it's down like 40%.
No, more. It's down.
Wait, it's 50.
Yeah. Gosh, what's happening to my screen here? Hold on. Yeah, 52% down in 1 day, 1.5 days. Brutal, that is. Very brutal. But I think this is like pretty normal for these sorts of assets. Is this the dip that everyone was waiting for to kind of get in? You know, look at where we are in the chart historically. I mean, when I say historically, I mean just over the last few days. Look at where we are, and look at where we are right now. What do you think, Mark?
The more a support is tested, the weaker it gets.
Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, I mean, having said that, this is a 5-minute chart, so you can't really use it that well. But yeah, let's see. If I had to guess, you know, usually you get I don't know. There's still a lot of mind share around Launchcoin, but I personally don't hold any. Do you?
Launchcoin? Nah,
Yeah. Have you traded the Meta at all with any of the other coins?
not at all.
Well, I mean, there are some other coins that seem to be runners as well. I mean, look at this one, whatever the hell this is, XBT or something, which is going nuts. Yeah, it looks like there's a whole range of these coins that are still doing well. But yeah, let's see what happens to Launchcoin. Very, very, very interesting spot here. Yeah, I wonder to you guys who are listening, like any of you guys been trading some of these new metas and some of these new tokens like Launchcoin, and you know, there's been a few others as well that have actually ran to like 50 million as well, or maybe a little bit less. But yeah, I wondered if any of you guys have been trading them too, and kind of what your thoughts are on the meta. I mean, I personally think like the idea on paper sounds cool. Yeah, real world companies getting tokens, etc. But they are just meme coins at the end of the day. It is a
It's
bit
all a
extractive.
scam.
Yeah, it's a bit extractive. You know, there's no value capture on these tokens. It's a pure attention thing. So yeah, I think you just play the game. This is crypto. You play the game. You know, you try and make some money. But I think it's very nihilistic. Like, this is not the future of anything really in this current form. We're just kind of pretending that it is. And yeah, some people believe it. Some people truly believe that this is like the, you know, going to be a huge future and whatnot. I don't necessarily think that. I do think that overall this is quite extractive. I was actually trying to short at 32 cents here just before the huge rally to I think it actually wicked even higher. But at this point here, I was trying to short, and it wasn't working for me. And I really, really wish that I could have, because I would have been able to capture all of this. Didn't work. It wasn't meant
Where
to be.
did you shoot it? Was it on exchanges?
No, it's on HL.
Hyperliquid.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's on any other perp market right now, but yeah, it is on HL, so you could do some trading there on Launchcoin anyway. But yeah, let's see where it goes. You know, maybe this is the place to long, maybe it's the place to short. I don't know, but it's getting to an interesting point where I do think that there will be some price action here. It can't keep going sideways here forever.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's see. Kind of anything else Yeah, I don't think there's been anything else that I've been particularly trading other than guys, try out IVX. You can really get some incredible trades. I've been seeing some crazy trades that some people have been doing here on IVX. So yeah, keep at it. Keep it coming. I want to see more of you guys trading. Take these high leverage bets and see what happens. And for others, maybe just deposit into IVLP. Enjoy some of the high yields that you've been getting. I was just looking at like the historical APR through just remember an asset like IVLP earns in 3 different ways, right? It earns from the basket exposure going up, and of course with good Bitcoin and ETH price action, that's definitely been happening. It also earns from some of the trading fees that we get, and what we do is we route that into BGT through Berachain's economic incentive program through POL, and so you earn pretty good strong APRs in the form of BGT, and the last way is through the PNL of traders. So the PNL of traders has been generally a little bit here, a little bit there. There was a time where traders were performing really well, but over the last couple of days, it's gone the other way. So that's been pretty strong for IVLP. The prices of the index have gone up, but importantly, when it comes to trading fees, we've been able to achieve over 50% APR just from the trading fees alone so far. Which has been pretty huge actually, and you get an even bigger premium when you're using BGT wrappers like LBGT. So yeah, it's been super impressive so far. I've been really impressed with IVLP, and yeah, now is your chance to kind of be a part of that and help scale the LP as well, as you can actually deposit into IVLP and kind of get your shares now as well. So yeah, if that's interesting to you, do so. Otherwise, everyone who's in already is going to continue to enjoy those juicy APRs. Yeah, keep trading on IVX. Share us your opinion. Share us some of the feedback that you want to give us to make the app better. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's it from our side. We can wrap things up here. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Mo, as always.